What if the life you're living right now, every triumph, every heartbreak, every single moment of joy or suffering, was not only known before you were born, but chosen? Not by fate. Not by accident. But by you. But here's the real mystery. If you agreed to all of this, who made you agree? Was it truly your soul, sovereign and free? Or, was there a hidden hand guiding your decision? A cosmic counsel, a karmic contract, or perhaps, a subtle persuasion from beings older than time itself? Tonight, we descend into the hidden realms of pre-birth agreements, soul planning, and the mystical forces that shaped your existence before your first breath. Ancient texts whisper of it. Shamans dream of it. Mystics and near-death experiencers return with fragments of this forgotten truth. And now, it's your turn to remember. Because the question isn't just, why am I here? It's, who helped me say yes to this life, and why? Long before modern psychology whispered about the subconscious, and long before religion sculpted the heavens into reward and punishment, ancient mystery schools spoke of a place between lives. A dimension where souls gather, review, and choose their next incarnation. The Egyptians called it the Hall of Ma'at, a sacred realm where the soul was weighed against the feather of truth. In the Vedic traditions of India, it is said that before birth, the soul witnesses a vision of its next life, a tapestry woven from past karmas and future lessons. And in the esoteric Kabbalah, this space is known as the treasury of souls, where destinies are inscribed and soul contracts are signed under the watchful eyes of divine intelligences. But these aren't mere metaphors. Modern mystics, like Dolores Cannon, whose past life regression work with thousands of people uncovered eerily consistent memories, speak of a between-life realm. A cosmic planning room where soul guides, elders, and higher selves help chart the next incarnation. There, you don't just choose your parents or your body. You choose your challenges. Your heartbreaks. Even those who will hurt you. Why? Because Earth is not just a planet. It is a school of transformation. And suffering, strangely enough, is often the teacher we agreed to meet. But here's where the mystery deepens. Many souls remember feeling hesitant. Some even speak of being persuaded or encouraged by beings who seem to know more, who promised, you can do this. You must. Who are these beings? Are they helpers, or something more complex? Are they the architects of this realm? Are they ascended masters, wise and loving? Or, is there a hierarchy of influence in the cosmos we don't fully understand? This is where the veil begins to thin. In the world of mystics and metaphysical scholars, there's a term that appears again and again. Soul contracts. These are not contracts made in ink, but in energy. Not enforced by law, but by karma and cosmic agreement. A soul contract is the blueprint of your life, the key themes, the major players, the core challenges. Not every detail is pre-written, but the framework is in place. But here's the unnerving truth. You rarely sign it alone. There are others in that space, unseen architects, soul family members, and spiritual guides. Some call them the council, the elders, or simply, the ones who know. Authors like Michael Newton, in his profound works Journey of Souls and Destiny of Souls, documented hundreds of deep hypnosis sessions where subjects recalled meeting with wise, loving, but deeply enigmatic beings who helped them choose their next life. Some describe these entities as radiating pure love. Others, as being deeply neutral. Not emotional, not cruel. But focused entirely on evolution of the soul. And still, others recalled moments of doubt. Moments where their soul hesitated. Moments where they were gently, but firmly, reminded. You chose this path before. You've done this before. You're ready. But were they? Were you? Or were you persuaded, lovingly, perhaps, into stepping into the fire of human life once more? This brings us to a controversial, yet vital question. Can a soul be pressured to incarnate? And if so, who benefits? Some esoteric traditions, such as Gnostic Christianity, warned of archons, cosmic tricksters who trap souls in cycles of reincarnation. Other philosophies, like Tibetan Buddhism, speak of bardo beings who may deceive or mislead the untrained soul in the after-death realms. So which is it? Are we lovingly guided? Or subtly coerced? Or, is the truth even more complex, that both forces exist, and it is up to your soul to discern the difference? Because not all contracts are created in clarity. Some are forged in desperation, karma, and fear. But others are born of courage. And you, whether you remember it or not, said yes. So, if you agreed to this life, with all its trials, its heartbreaks, and even its betrayals, what does that mean for you now? It means this. You are not a victim of fate. You are the author of your experience, even if the ink was written with invisible hands. This is the paradox of the soul. You chose limitation, to remember freedom. You chose pain, to rediscover compassion. You chose forgetting, to make remembrance real. But let's be clear, not all contracts are eternal. Some are meant to be broken. Others, completed and released. The spiritual teacher Caroline Myss speaks of sacred contracts, soul-level agreements that can either empower you or imprison you, depending on whether you live them consciously. And this is where your true power begins. When you awaken to the idea that your life was chosen, not imposed, you can stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" And start asking, "What am I meant to learn, and how can I evolve through it?" Because awareness activates free will. And free will can renegotiate contracts. You are not bound by suffering. You are not shackled to old karma. You are an evolving, luminous being with the right, and responsibility, to reshape your soul's path. So, how do you begin? Ask your soul for remembrance. In stillness, meditation, or dream, speak the question. What did I agree to, and what no longer serves me? Invoke clarity. Call on your higher self or soul counsel. Speak aloud or in silence. If this lesson is learned, release the contract. I choose growth without suffering. Honor your own sovereignty. You are not here to be controlled by unseen forces, you are here to walk the sacred path of a soul remembering its power. Even if you were persuaded, even if you were nudged, you still said yes. Now it's time to say yes again. But this time, with eyes open, heart aware, and spirit ignited. Somewhere, in the space between stars and lifetimes, you stood at a threshold. Not as the person you are now, but as a soul vast beyond imagining. And before you lay a tapestry of choices, not all easy, not all kind, but all purposeful. And in that sacred stillness, you whispered, "I will go." Not because you were forced. Not because you were blind. But because within you burns the ancient courage of those who return to earth, not to escape, but to transform. So now, dear traveler, the question is no longer, "Why am I here?" The question is, now that I remember, what will I do? Will you live this life asleep, repeating the loops of forgotten contracts? Or will you awaken, and begin to co-create your destiny, not from fear, but from deep soul remembrance? Because here is the secret whispered by the mystics. The contract may have brought you here, but only consciousness can set you free. So light a candle tonight, not for worship, but for remembrance. Sit in silence. Listen inward. Ask, what part of me chose this life, and what part of me is ready to choose again? Because the truth is, you are not just living a life. You are fulfilling, and rewriting, a sacred promise. And maybe, just maybe, you were not made to agree. You were called, and you answered. Remember who you are, and why you came. Subscribe for more esoteric wisdom. Leave your reflections below, your soul tribe is listening.